Welcome everybody to another episode of Ready Speaker. I'm your host Roland Rucci, and today's episode is another movie review, and we're looking at Operation Fortune, Ruse de Guerre. My French is not good, so that's something, I don't know what that means, but it means war of something. So this is a new film from Guy Ritchie. It's also written by Guy Ritchie. Ivan Atkinson, Martin Davies are the three writers for this film. The cast is Jason Statham, who I love in movies. I think he's a great character in pretty much every movie he's in. I generally like his movies. I look forward to his movies. Aubrey Plaza, which is she is hitting a huge run of films right now. Ever since White Lotus, and that's TV series, or streaming series, and a lot of films. She's pretty much everywhere. So I think she's doing a great job too. Cary Elwes, he's the guy from Princess Bride. Hugh Grant. There you go. And Josh Hartnett, Bugsy Malone, Eddie Marsan, who you might not know the name, but you definitely know the face, and Peter Fernando. Everybody else, it's a pretty big cast. I don't know if they have heavy parts in it. I'm reading IMDb right now as we chat through this. The rating for this on IMDb is 6.5 stars out of 10. So it's, I don't know about that. All right, so what's the premise? The premise is that Jason Statham is a special agent. He's essentially a gun for hire, hired by the British government to stop some sort of AI data breach theft, sort of technology theft thing. And what is the film really about? I think the film is really about Guy Ritchie trying to make a franchise with Mr. Statham, sort of a James Bond-ish Mission Impossible sort of thing. That's definitely the vibe I'm getting with this. It's definitely a Mission Impossible sort of energy that it's trying to start with the wit, James Bond wit, Mission Impossible style. So it's a sort of like a mashup of those films. Does it do it well? I don't think so. Again, I really enjoy Jason Statham movies. I think he can really bring a character to sort of life with his own sort of delivery style, which is a very stoic style, to the point, and he has a physicality. I think that really works for most of the films he's in. In this film, I think his physicality and his motion is actually not leveraged right. I think what they're trying to do is a Mission Impossible, and that's the big lean here, is on that side, and he doesn't have, or at least they're not using him in the stunt ways that Tom Cruise is used, where he's very much in a part of the anxiety, the stress, the very high level action that he brings to a film. And you might not love him, you might just make fun of how he runs in every movie, but here this is more of like a British saunter, and I think it's kind of the weak part of the story. It's not a bad story. It's not a bad idea. It's not a bad delivery. It's shot in a lot of pretty places. I think there's some good casting here. I just think the way the storytelling is happening is not really a plus to this film. Hugh Grant is a standout in this. He's doing a different kind of accent, not his usual kind of accents. Almost reminds me of Mike Myers, making fun of Brits, sort of that pitch, that tone, which I'm sure he's not imitating Mike Myers, but that it's just the tone, the pitch that reminded me of him a little bit, and how he's on teetering on the HR issues or HR inappropriateness of content and comments that he's making. So I think that's kind of interesting, and even the Josh Hartnett. He's is that him? Yeah, Josh Hartnett was in this. I think he does an admirable job of where he is. He's not trying to be this gung ho character. He's a movie star. Part of the story is to get close to the Hugh Grant character, Greg. They enlist Josh Hartnett, who's what is he? It's Danny Francesco, something like that, and he's an action star from the U.S. and the Greg character really has an attraction for this star and all stars, and this star in particular, and they recruit him to get the in on the Greg's world, the criminal world that he's in. It's a vast criminal world. We're talking billions of dollars, so it's definitely not a typical sort of story. It's a world-ending sort of story, so it's world on edge sort of story, and the British government are panicked as panicked as British government can be, in tone wise, at least how it's depicted, and it can be funny. There are a couple of bits. I think the jokes are a little forced. I think the Aubrey Plaza bits probably work the best. Not all of them. When she gets introduced, I don't like that scene that much. I think there's some good stuff there. There's a good idea there. I think the delivery is not really there. I like some of the action. It's just he doesn't run as well as Tom Cruise. And they have a whole run scene going up a staircase and chasing through Turkey, a city in Turkey, and I just don't feel that energy. He's more of a brawler. He walks like a brawler. He is a brawler, and I think that he does that really, really, really well. So this is not a slight on him. I think it's just I know they have a long relationship, Guy Ritchie and Jason Statham, and there's a lot of stuff that they've done that's really, really gone very well. And Hugh Grant is now on the Guy Ritchie train as well, but he's doing more character work, which is kind of interesting. So he's really leaning into that, and I think that's a good choice by him. I mean, he's working. He's got it. He's bringing interesting look and depth and detail to the characters, and I think Jason Statham is just Jason Statham, which again is not a slight because he does a great job at being that character that he's created, that persona that he's created. I think that Guy Ritchie he's looking for something to get him some traction. It feels like he's looking for some sort of bit that's going to get him the right traction, so he can make a franchise, so he can keep going, and he can plan the rest of his years. I just don't see where it lands with this story. I don't think there'll be a number 2. If there is, straight to video, maybe. I mean, even this one, I don't know if it really went out much, but it's not great. It's really not great. It probably deserves the 6.0, whatever it was. 6.4. I'm curious even the budget of this. I mean, I'm just gonna look it up really quick and see where it is. But I think the budget is pretty extensive. Let me see here. 50 million. Not mind blowing, but there was a lot of travel in Europe, but they're all based in Europe, or at least most of them are. So I mean, just a flight over. So they're going to Europe, they're going to Turkey, I think they went to Monaco. There's a bunch of little things. It's shot okay, the lighting's okay, the scenery's okay, the characters are okay. I just don't feel that it's really, really the best use of Jason Statham. That's all. I think I'm probably gonna actually have a whole bunch of images pop up here and see what we do with that. But and show you the look. I think the look is good. I think the look can be very good. I think the characters are very good. I think there's something there. I just don't think it found its right footing. So is it really ready for war? I don't know. Is it ready for action? I don't know. I think it's an idea that needed to ferment a little bit more. Well, that's it. That's it on this review. I guess not really much to talk about beyond that, because it really did. The story didn't really pull me along. I really didn't care at points. And I think that's the weird thing, about it. Like, you're supposed to maybe root for the villain, but not root for the villain. But are they really the villain? And I think that's the confusion part. It's trying to do something different, but I don't need different sometimes. And if you're going to do this type of movie, there are certain formulas that work, and you don't really need different to bring a story across the line. And I think that's yeah, that's it. I mean, there's some things I appreciate. They didn't really get too overly flirty. They had some, there's some dirty jokes in there, some dirty bits in there, which can be funny. But they acknowledge them. It's not just a toss away. They kind of acknowledge. It's more. No, it's not a wink to the camera, but it's a wink to each other in the characters. So I do like stuff. Hugh Grant, I think, did a great job. I think he's probably my favorite bit in this. The way he brings it about, and it doesn't. He borders on cringy. He can border on it, but that's intentional on his part. So I think that's how he wants to bring this character forward, and I think he did a really, really good job with that. So he's developing a character, and he's got a stance, he's got a physicality, and no one else really did that. Aubrey Plaza, she does that with every film. I think she just has a certain look that they love, and that's the all in with expressions and then turning into, and then you see her real emotions through her face, and she does a great job with that. So good for her. Good for her working. Hopefully they make another one. I don't know. It's why not? More films are always great. I just don't know if it's the best film that they've done together. So there you go. 6.4. Yeah, it's around the 6s, maybe 5. 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10. probably say it's around there. All right, all the best. Till next time, this is Roland DeRucci, again, your host on Ready Speaker. Enjoy your days. Go to sleep happy, live the day, wake up happy, you can start a new day. That's sort of a little motto of mine, and I like having it. Maybe I'll stop saying it, but for a little while, I'm going to keep saying it. All the best. Bye.